Before we get into the video, I'm gonna answer a couple questions. If you wanna get to the review of Fluids by May Leitz, you can use the timestamps. The first time I talked about an extreme horror book on this channel was 9 months ago, and since then, one of the questions I get the most often is, have you read a good extreme horror book yet? Although I've said this to some of you already, I wanna say it once again to all of you. Before Aaron Beauregard's Playground, I didn't even know there was a subgenre called extreme horror. I'm pretty new to it, and yeah, my experience with it so far has been awful. I really don't like going into books with too much information. I read the synopsis and just jump in, or I go into it without even reading the synopsis sometimes just because I heard it being recommended around. I mean, apart from Beauregard, I have like 3 other extreme horror authors on the channel, and 2 were recommended to me, so it's not like I read dozens of them. I'm trying. Okay, this subgenre is weird. I picked up a 3.5 stars rated book the other day, and it was shit. How is this my fault? Gang, I'm in the gutter, in the trenches, fighting my own demons and everyone else's. For who? For you. Just be patient, please. Another thing I want to set straight is I see your recommendations and I do have an actual list of books I want to get to one day. The problem with the most wanted books is that they don't fit the format. You all want me to talk about Blood Meridian and The Girl Next Door and Rage by Stephen King. I can't in my good conscience explain those kind of books using funny memes. Not only are they serious, zero bullshit, just straight up devastation books, but they're also based on real life tragedies. It would be incredibly wrong and disrespectful, and I just couldn't do that. Yes, the books I've reviewed so far had traumatizing content that a lot of people have experienced in real life, like suicide and sexual assault and child abuse. That's why a lot of the times you'll see me just leave a black screen during those moments. The thing is, the books have to have some type of ridiculous shit in them for me to talk about them, to criticize them. Books like Blood Meridian and The Girl Next Door are not like that. This is not to say I won't ever read them or make videos about them. Obviously, they're still on the list, but until I change how I edit my videos, those books will be on hold. If you guys are down for some stock footage fuckery, then sure, in the next few months I can get to them. But if you guys want the same video format for those books, then hell nah. I'm putting my foot down. My foot is put. Also, someone asked recently if I would consider making a disturbing books iceberg video, and I didn't respond to them because I'm currently checking off books from that list. There's a lot of classics on there too though, like The Metamorphoses and Lord of the Flies, which I've already read, but would you guys want me to talk about those books as well? Just let me know. I'll leave a pinned comment and we can talk about it under it. And I think that's it. Fluids by May Leitz came to me on my deathbed. Literally, because before this book I read Broken Dolls and it pretty much killed whatever wanting I had for reading. I was like, I'm giving this extreme horror bullshit one more chance and I might as well read something gay, happy pride, and landed on much recommended Fluids. It did make reading enjoyable again, but it also put some unforgettable imagery into my mind, so let's talk about what I'm talking about. The book is written in first person. We are taking a peek into the mind of a woman named Lauren. The world has gone to shit. Can't go out, can't socialize, the fear of dying, the fear of losing our loved ones to something intangible is very real, even though what's going on seems anything but that. She recently lost her dad, which she didn't really know or get along well, but now she's lost the chance of ever making amends or accept her dad's wishes of forgiveness from her. All she has left now is the sweet what could have happened and the bitter what happened. Just like everyone else, Lauren can tolerate being alone, but not being lonely. Loneliness and the helplessness that comes with that due to the current situation is the biggest reason for the events that will soon take place in the story. With nothing better to do, she swipes her days away on a dating app. From the first few paragraphs, it's very apparent that Lauren was never really mentally stable to begin with. The pandemic just made everything so much worse. We learned that she's no stranger to parental neglect and abuse. She was suicidal in her teens and self-harmed regularly. And then one day, Lauren receives a message from a girl. "Hey, my name is Dahlia. I just wanted to tell you that you seem really cool." Lauren responds, "Fuck you, you're cool. I'm Lauren." Both of these chicks are crazy. Dahlia's bio says, "The way to my heart is a dark walk in the woods. Let's hold hands and talk about Dahmer." As in Jeffrey Dahmer. Lauren likes how edgy Dahlia is. She's not the first girl to impress her with her edginess. The first girl that did that lost her virginity to Lauren, and then they both talked about how epic it was that she bled because Lauren had long nails. Glad to see her type didn't change even after a decade. You're so fucking edgy, holy shit. No, you. How old are you even? Didn't anyone ever tell you to grow up and get adult hobbies? It's a well-known fact that sapphics move extremely fast in relationships, so Dahlia proposes to a complete stranger that they video chat instead, but ends up chickening out herself. She explains that she has body dysmorphia, which makes her own body scary to look at, so she doesn't even know what she looks like anymore. What we get to know about her through text is that she's 28, the same age as Lauren. She lives in a town called Moore in Oklahoma that doesn't tolerate gays of any kind, which means she has a lot of dead friends. Her mom sent her to this therapy group, but she's still not fully accepting of who Dahlia is. Oh, and she's edgy as hell, obviously. They talk about their favorite serial killers, which made me roll my eyes out of my head, honestly, not to be a bitch, but you all are almost 30. 30? What the heck are you even talking about? How about you spend that energy into getting a job? Texting doesn't really scratch that itch in Lauren's brain though. She really wants to see Dahlia or at least hear her voice. She finally convinces Girlie to get on a phone call, but Dahlia just meows. Not even a hi, how are you? Just meow. Just as Lauren is about to hang up on her face, she finally blurts out, "I'm sorry, I'm just petrified and I've never been this scared before." You know what I think, Dahlia? I think we need each other. I don't know what it is about you, but I want to be your best friend in the whole world. I want to take you to Disneyland and ride in those little teacups. I want to go to the beach with you and drink Coronas. I want to do drugs with you. Do you like drugs? I want to introduce you to my mom, but not like to get her approval, but to rub it in her stupid face. I want to be your best friend. We just started. She said meow. Like, dude, you're talking to a girl who's barely able to say words to you because she's scared of meeting new people, and you're coming to her with old dad. Day one? How did you fumble worse than Ted Mosby? Holy shit. Dahlia agrees with me too. She's like, girl, we just met. We only talked about serial killers, and now you're saying I'm the one for you? Ain't no way. Lauren excuses herself out of the conversation and vomits a bunch. She's been vomiting since they first started talking, and she's gonna be like that for the rest of the book. If I tell you every time she vomits, that's like an extra 15 minutes, so she just remember that she's like a fire hose. She'd be vomiting everywhere every time she's stressed, and she's stressed all the time. The next day, Lauren wakes up to a text from Dahlia asking about her day, but she's being all dramatic like, I don't know, and I don't want to talk to you anymore. You make me sick to talk to. I speak to you and I feel like I'm gonna die. It feels like something is coming to kill me, and when I look at my phone, I should see cute animals and happy thoughts, but no, I just see you. And I don't even know what you look like. It's such bullshit. You're gonna make me destroy myself, I swear. As you guys can tell, she's not really all there in the head, but somehow this little tangent doesn't terrify Dahlia, so she takes a picture of herself with her webcam and sends it to her. Here's the thing, her whole life, Dahlia has had trouble making friends, and now that she has someone who's very loudly asking to be a part of her life, she kinda can't resist. She lets Lauren just step over all her boundaries and doesn't even seem to realize how dangerous that can be. I mean, you just barely talk to each other, and the weirdo is saying stuff like, you're gonna make me destroy myself? Hello? You should hit the block button. It's free and beautiful, I swear. After seeing the picture, Lauren is like, whoop, I think I'm a lesbian. I'm done with men. Happy Pride. Problem is, she doesn't just think this to herself, which is fine. She also tells this to Dahlia, which is not fine. She's just speedrunning at this point. Dahlia confesses that she terrifies her because you feel like a nuclear bomb. You feel like the kind of person that is really close to doing something really awful. I once knew a guy who was at a gay club when Jeffrey Dahmer was there, but Jeff didn't pick him. He was too ugly for the serial killer. Can you believe that? He tells everyone that he danced with Dahmer. You feel like that to me. Talking to you feels like dancing with Dahmer. This just makes Lauren get defensive. She's like, "You don't know anything about me. How could you just say that to me when you know nothing about me?" The call is coming from inside the asylum I feel like you're currently locked up in. Pick it up, ho. I'm probably defensive. I do that sometimes. My ex-girlfriend used to tell me that I got defensive really quickly and then wouldn't listen, so I'm listening. I just like you. I like you. Will you be my girlfriend? Yes. Dude, this happens like right after. No pause. Hey, you give serial killer vibes. I feel like you might kill me and then violate my corpse for days. That's so romantic. Wanna date? Since they're starting a new relationship, Dahlia feels like she should be 100% clear about who she really is, so she comes out to Lauren as transgender. She specifies that she still has all her parts and she doesn't really hate them, but she also doesn't use them beyond necessary and it's uncomfortable to think about them, and that she would understand if Lauren never wants to be intimate with her. She even explains how it feels to be in a body that doesn't feel completely hers in, I think, a very touching way. I used to think that I was kind of like a doll. When I was a kid, I'd imagine myself taken apart like a puzzle and rearranged into a different thing altogether. If I just removed a bit of myself and mixed them, that maybe I could fit together in a way that I never felt I could. Or just not rearranged at all, just taken apart piece by piece and left in a metal drum. Either way, I wish I could just take parts of myself away and make this all more manageable, but I can't. And what does Lauren do? She fetishizes her in her head and drives all the way to Oklahoma Moore, where Dahlia lives. Like, let's put Lauren's craziness aside for a second. She's also just a horrible person already. She has more red flags than Ferrari fans during a Grand Prix. Dahlia laid herself bare, and she was not only very brave as someone who's always been scrutinized for her trans identity, but she also trusted Lauren in that moment. Dahlia specifically said she doesn't use her parts in a sexual manner, that thinking about them is uncomfortable, and Lauren is like, I wanna suck her. I wanna suck her so bad, I want her to fuck me, I wanna feel her dick inside me. Could you be more insufferable? She has zero respect for Dahlia, which is obvious from her words and her actions. It's also so obvious that Dahlia is in a very vulnerable place because there's no one in her life who loves her or even accepts her. She's only being tolerated by her mom, and Lauren knows this. We read it over and over again. She even tries to trick Dahlia by saying she can help her to finally become an independent person like how she always wanted to, just to make Dahlia depend on her instead. And no, Dahlia doesn't believe her. She knows that going with Lauren would basically be suicide. But unfortunately, Dahlia sees Lauren as a bridge. After crossing to the other side, she thinks she'll be fine and away from harm, but she doesn't realize the bridge is muddy and it will stick under her feet. So the book is written with the stream of consciousness technique, which means the characters' thoughts are not structured, they're fluid. We see everything that crosses their minds, there's a lot of repetition and pretty much no filter. This is a style of writing I really love to read because it makes me feel like I'm inside the character's skin. I can look inwards and outwards at once, and that is a luxury. Up until this point, we only got to visit Lauren's head, which would look really nice if there was a decorative bullet in the middle of it. But now we'll also get to hear Dahlia. I'm sure a change in POV isn't a foreign concept to any of you, but I guess May Leitz wanted to go a step further. So instead of giving a chapter for each character, she just lets them loose. So you'll be in the middle of a chapter and Lauren gets muted and Dahlia starts talking instead, and vice versa. You obviously won't be able to tell from the video, but it's something I've never seen before in a book as far as I remember, and although it confused me at first, I really liked it. I also don't know if this was an editing error or not, but I didn't see anyone talking about it, so I'm gonna think it was on purpose to make myself feel better. What I'm getting at is you won't get to fully experience this book through me. Violence can be explained easily, but a messy mind is close to impossible to do so. I would highly recommend you read it yourself first and then continue watching the rest of the video. The first time we get to hear Dahlia, she burns her mother. She leaves with Lauren after that. When Dahlia is hasty to leave Oklahoma, Lauren has other plans. Instead of driving 3 hours and going to her house, she suggests they go to a motel. Sleeping next to someone you don't trust is a harrowing experience. You lay in the dark waiting for the point of a knife or the scramble for a weapon. You prepare. Step 1. Turn on my back and smash her nose into her skull. She should die instantly, but if she doesn't, I'll have to hit it a lot more times. The most significant risk is getting a bone stuck in my wrist and bleeding out. If she scrambles, I'll have to run. I don't imagine anything is going to happen to me though. More than anything, Lauren seems to want to help me. She looks sweet, but it's hard to tell through layers of sweat. She smells so bad that I struggle to even see her to begin with. But what I do see is melted makeup and phlegm on her chin. Being close to her is a big problem. I'm as far as one can be from her, but I still smell her, and I still fear her touch. I still expect her to hurt me. I'm still preparing. I can't tell what her angle is. What's my life supposed to be now? Where are we going? Who am I going to be? I don't even know where she lives, but I know it isn't here. I don't know who I'm going to be, but it won't be me. Anything is better than this. Anything is better than me. So you see why it's so goddamn hard to talk about this book? Because everyone is so confused and no one makes sense. In the motel room, Dahlia decides to kill Lauren. She thinks she's dangerous, so before she hurts Dahlia, she has to get rid of her. She takes a pillow and starts suffocating her with it. Here, I'll play the devil's advocate and defend Lauren, because there is nothing indicating she was going to hurt Dahlia. Girlie was actually sleeping. If you wanted to leave, take her car keys and what little money she has and dip. Why are you complicating things? Like, yeah, if she wanted to escape but accidentally woke Lauren up and she refused to let her leave, it would be a cliche, so I get the choice of not going that route. But I'm truly puzzled by the decision to make Dahlia try and kill Lauren. We can't just throw our hands in the air and go, bitches be crazy, bitches be crazy, every time one of them does something questionable. Lauren wakes up mid-suffocation and scrambles away from Dahlia. Because she sees everything twisted, she thinks Dahlia trying to suffocate her is kinky. She spits on Dahlia as to flirt, and she headbutts Lauren. I realize that this is a challenge. Dahlia gives me information about what she likes, and it's a little rougher than I'm used to. I look down at her and see her satisfaction with the damage she caused. Lauren leans down and whispers to Dahlia that she wants to hurt her. She wants to hurt her real bad. You know, like the Joker. While Dahlia is trying to get out from under her, she bites down on her collarbone. Despite her screams, Lauren doesn't let go until she penetrates skin and makes her bleed. She finds this whole thing both amusing and arousing. She has no proof Dahlia feels the same way as her, but she just believes it. Everything points at Dahlia's fear of being anywhere near her, but no, Lauren already created a completely different version of the events in her mind, so no convincing her otherwise. After Dahlia finally gives up, she gets annoyed and asks her why she's going easy on her now, like she's for real living in her own little world. As if they didn't just try to kill each other, she tries to do aftercare. She tells her she enjoyed hurting her, and Dahlia says she doesn't like that. I can teach you how to like it, is Lauren's reaction to being told no. Next up is drugs. In order to get them with no money, they go to a casino. They're gonna play pretend. Dahlia is gonna play an 18-year-old who's looking for some fun on her birthday, and Lauren her sister who's pimping her out. They find this family guy in his 50s who's down for it. For $500, he's gonna get sex and the girls are gonna get free drinks and hopefully drugs. This is for us, you know? What do you mean? You can do whatever you want with him. He's my gift to you. We can share him or we can use him to have each other. But it's yours to do with whatever you want. And no matter what happens, I'll always catch you when you fall. When they go up to the room, things go wrong as to be expected. Dahlia is held by Lauren and the man starts caressing her body. I'm naked in front of two people that aren't like me at all. They don't know what it's like to feel so wrong. They don't know what it's like to feel that violation by God. Dahlia realizes that he doesn't know she's trans, and even though the guy's okay with it, Dahlia no longer is. She tries to scream when the guy starts sucking, but Lauren silences her. To escape from their clutches, she rams her dick into his throat, which catches him off guard. Then, with her order, they grab him. They explain that they're gonna rob him of everything he has, and if he doesn't comply, they're gonna kill him and his wife. This is also when Lauren finds out that Dahlia burned her mother. Due to the shock of what he's hearing, he vomits on Dahlia. Then Dahlia vomits back on him, and then Lauren vomits somewhere. The chain reaction is really strong. The man tries to get away, but they can't let that happen, so Dahlia grabs his head and starts hitting it on the wall. The man is much stronger than their drunk and coked up asses, so he punches both of them. Lauren passes out of Dahlia's sight, and he uses this opportunity to assault Dahlia. In the moments leading up to it, she's convinced Lauren will save her any second now because she promised she wouldn't let anyone harm her. Lauren wakes up to the devil slowly bleeding in the corner of the room and a half-dead angel lying on the floor. The realization hits her. She promised Dahlia no one could harm her and then let her be raped for what seems like a painfully long time. She fucked up her birthday. In a fit of rage, she rushes over to the devil and bites him on his shoulder. Then she tears his arm off his body and blinds his eyes by sticking her fingers into them. Now, I get blinding him, like that's doable, people have done it before, it's not beyond the realms of possibility. But you're telling me a teeny tiny woman who got knocked out with a single punch was able to remove a man's arm from his body entirely by splitting it in the middle like bananas split. With no equipment. She just pulled his fingers apart and the arm split. Miss Leitz, are we being for real, or is this what Lauren wants to do to the man, so she hallucinated thanks to the powers that be, cocaine? I'm actually genuinely confused. Like, a lot of the times the gore in this book makes no sense to me. I can hardly imagine it in my head, and I want to chalk it up to my foreign ass and say my English is just not Englishing well. But hell, man, I don't think that I'm that clueless about bodies and what they're capable of in any language. I can't say nothing else about this, honestly. I'm lost in the sauce. Someone come save me before I drown. The second realization hits Lauren when she checks the devil's wallet and finds a single 100 bill instead of 5. For them to get out and leave this whole place behind them, they need money, which he doesn't have on him. So she tries to get him to tell her his PIN number for the ATM. The best possible method to get him talking seems like to be torture. So she goes easy on him and starts ripping at his penis, and with every strong tug and skin ripple, he slowly mutters a digit out. 2431. She still doesn't move. I shake her so hard, and yet she doesn't move. I shake her so hard, and I cry so hard, and she doesn't move. I beg God, and yet she doesn't move. She won't be able to kiss me ever again. We never made love. We never talked about starting a family. I never learned about her past, and she never knew about me. My girlfriend is dead, and I just started to love her. She leaves the devil and the angel behind for the authorities to bust in and find them both dead. For someone who was really pained a little earlier for leaving her to get hurt, this behavior is really selfish to me. Leaving a dead, defenseless woman alone in a room with the fuck who assaulted her is beyond evil. But no matter how much she cries about her lover being gone, it's obvious she just wants to save her own ass in that moment, so she drives off with her car. The next day when she tries the card, the PIN is declined. She thinks she either has the wrong PIN or the card cancelled, which could mean his wife cancelled it. Could this mean she called the cops and they found them both in his suite? Maybe. But it could also mean he was already a cheater before last night and his wife left him and canceled his cards or changed his PIN to spite him. Whatever happened since she left the casino, she must know. So she goes back one last time with the shame of the worst robbery of her life lingering in her chest. After waiting in the parking lot for a few hours and seeing no cops, she finally gets out to go back inside. But before she does, just in case, she goes to the pawn shop nearby to buy a knife with her $100. When she enters the casino, everything looks the same. It's still paradise, and paradise never changes. She goes up to the room on the verge of vomiting her guts out. She swipes the card and nothing happens. She swipes and still nothing happens. Someone lived. Someone lived and checked out of the room. Because the devil was a single breath away from being dead, she knows it in her bones that it must have been Dahlia. She lived. She goes downstairs to the concierge. The woman doesn't know anything apart from the fact that someone checked out of the room yesterday and it's been thoroughly cleaned and is ready for another guest. Seeing Lauren's jittery behavior, she lets her up to the room in order to not cause a scene in front of other guests. The room looks nothing like she left it the night before. There's nothing in it that would make someone think two people died on the same bathroom floor she's standing on. The devil is gone. The angel is gone. The paradise erased them. The only thing Lauren has evidence of last night happening is the devil's cards. His name was Daniel Lore, and he died in here last night. His name was Daniel Lore, and he assaulted Dahlia here last night. His name was Daniel Lore, and he has a wife. She goes into the woman's room to find answers or give them. The woman finishes her shower and opens the bathroom door and through the gap locks eyes with Lauren, who's holding a knife in her hand. Before she's able to close it again, Lauren throws herself through the door and they're both on the floor now, Lauren on top of the woman. With her knife on the woman's neck, she demands her to tell where her husband is, which the woman replies she doesn't know and she canceled the cards because she's sick of his cheating ass. Lauren believes her because she doesn't seem the type to be able to lie on knife point. She starts explaining all the things her husband did to her and Dahlia and how she's gonna cut her head off with a big knife because she made a promise. Upon hearing the future that awaits her, the woman starts screaming in a fight-or-flight response. Knowing what she has to do, Lauren becomes nauseous and starts gagging still on top of her. With nothing in her stomach, she's only able to vomit up bile and phlegm. The woman's gag reflex hits and she vomits, and since she's laying on her back, her vomit chokes her. Feeling the grasp of death, she panics and defecates herself. Lauren turns her on her side to let her vomit on the bathroom floor instead, and seeing an escape, the woman scrambles to her feet and tries to rush outside. Unfortunately, the fluids on the floor make her slip and crash her face onto the wall. Her face slides down the wall and she slips down the floor and it slowly tears the skin from her face, revealing muscle and bone. The left side of her face starts to pile up at the top of her skull and then she lands. She twitches and screams and her face on the left side is in shambles but remains attached. The flesh lays lifeless on her screaming face. Excuse me, but was the wall made of cheese graters? It tears the skin off of her face and reveals muscle and bone. Yeah, I don't think that's possible. I don't think a simple hotel bathroom wall would do that to someone unless they were hit by a truck from behind at the same time. Would she break her nose or chin? Yeah. Get an eyebrow split that would need stitches? Yeah. Skin half of her face off? Hell no, dude. Humans are fragile, but not that fragile. After seeing the woman's injury, Lauren doesn't really know what she should do. On one hand, she wants to kill her because the man didn't keep his promise, and Dahlia said if he didn't, his wife would die, so she wants to do this last thing for her dead girlfriend. On the other hand, she seems so defenseless, and it's not like she's at fault for her husband's actions she didn't even know. Then she grows a third hand and realizes that hurting other people actually gives her satisfaction, and she accepts that this is who she is now. In this moment, Lauren loves this defenseless woman, and she's gonna teach her how to like it. She proceeds to remove the woman's hand off with the help of her knife. When she's done, she's proud of what she's accomplished so far, so she tries to show it to the woman who's way too tired to scream anymore. Lauren realizes she doesn't have much time with her because she's bleeding really heavily. She's scared she's gonna finish without her. This whole thing is just foreplay to Lauren. In her head, she's making love to the woman. She tosses the hand away and starts kissing down her body. It's a pity no one will ever fuck her now. It's a shame that she'll never get to use her freshly manicured pussy on some new anonymous hopeful man to replace her dead husband. Maybe she's a secret lesbian too. The thought lingers, and I run my fingers through her pubic hair. I'm getting distracted. I find a gentle indent in her navel and place the knife in its crease. I sit up and look to what's left of her face for approval, and I find it. Her screams sound like sighs. Her pain sounds like pleasure. We've made it. Lauren pushes the knife into the woman's stomach and makes a vertical cut down her body. The body releases once again. She treats this opening as a pleasure point and inserts her fingers inside it. She says she can feel life in there. But I guess then she realizes the actual pleasure point is still intact, so feeling pity for it, she starts assaulting the woman with her mouth. After a while, she takes her pocket knife and brings it to the woman's genital. The woman pleads to just be killed. This amuses Lauren because to her, the woman is just asking for permission to come. With the knife, she cuts the clit off and the woman starts spasming. When she calms down, Lauren finishes her off by sticking the knife in her neck. Thank you. You're the best I've ever had. This whole thing, everything Lauren made that poor woman go through was the worst shit I've ever read or had to write about or even speak now. This was the first time I actually wanted to vomit myself reading a book. I hated every second of it. Surely I read worse things, but this was so different. I think it was because how Lauren saw what was happening as something completely different than what it actually was, and we were truly inside her head. Noticing the similarities in our reaction to pain and pleasure for the first time made me feel so weird and weak. Reading a character treat such an intense torture as sexual pleasure, reading a character redeem herself in her own eyes by torturing her victim even further, reading a character deciding that she is capable of love because she got to see the end of it. Her lover didn't break up with her because she messed up. She wasn't left behind because she became too much to handle, too clingy, too emotional. Her relationship didn't end because her partner found someone better. She didn't move away. She didn't tell Lauren it was just a phase and she was actually straight. Not this time. This time she loved a woman to completion, and this proves she knows how to love. In the meantime, Dahlia is lying inside a hole in the courtyard of the hotel. She's partially buried. She sits up. There's a shovel, and next to it, her arm. Which means it's no longer attached to her. Which means I'm confused once again. We read about Lauren removing the devil's arm and his wife's arm, and now Dahlia doesn't have an arm either. Is this bitch collecting arms now? Or did Lauren actually tore out Dahlia's arm instead of the devil's arm and was just too high to even realize it? Where did the devil go then? Is he dead or not? Whatever this symbolizes, I don't have the answer for you. I read and come up empty every time, so good luck. Dahlia finally pulls herself out of her own grave and finds 6 other ones around the area. Someone was trying to bury her and 6 other people. Probably sex workers and gamblers who won against the house way too much, and maybe the devil. She makes it to the parking lot, and being near to death, guilt of killing her mom hits her hard. I set my mom on fire. That's right, I dumped gasoline on her and burned her. I burnt her alive with fire on my front lawn. I got so sick of her shit that I burned her like a monk. I did it to impress a girl. I'm actually timid and lonely. I don't talk to people or look at them if I can help it. If there's one thing I know down to my core, people are cruel, and their cruelty is something I must defend against at all costs. I can't ever open up myself again. All I know is that I can't be cruel to myself. I have to protect my vitality at all costs. She's losing a lot of blood, and even though it's not enough to kill her, it's enough to make her surrounding feel surreal. She's having an out-of-body experience. She makes her way to a restroom. She looks like a corpse with no warmth to her skin, no emotion behind her eyes, and blood all over her body. As she's examining herself in the mirror, a woman enters the restroom. She's wearing a black silk dress that extends to her ankles. Her makeup is elegant and her perfume smells expensive. She looks lovely. The woman walks over to Dahlia with a worried expression, asks if she's okay. Dahlia doesn't want to be acknowledged by anyone, but she feels a sense of comfort by the woman's voice and touch. She starts cleaning blood and dirt off of Dahlia's face. With every touch and every caring word that comes out of her mouth, Dahlia feels calmer and safer. She wants to thank the woman, but can't find her voice. The woman is understanding. Okay, if you don't have a name, then I'm gonna call you Chelsea until you remember. Chelsea's my daughter's name. Let's take you over to the diner and get you fed. She orders water and pancakes for Chelsea and a cup of coffee for herself. The woman's name is Stacy, and she's beautiful. The woman's name is Stacy, and she has a daughter named Chelsea. The woman's name is Stacy, and she taught her daughter how to talk. Chelsea's first words were, "Happy birthday." Chelsea climbed out of a hole and was reborn again. Today is her birthday. Stacy offers Chelsea a place to shower and properly get cleaned up. They take the elevator up to the room. Stacy goes into the bathroom to get her a towel. Chelsea starts taking her dress off of her body. She realizes that she's bloody, has a penis, and only one arm. Stacy comes back into the room and sees that Chelsea is bloody, has a penis, and only one arm. This isn't the first time Stacy saw Chelsea's naked body. They used to be two lovers, Lauren and Dahlia, then two sisters, Sarah and Deborah, and now Stacy and Chelsea. After killing the woman, Lauren put on all her expensive clothes and perfume and went outside into the casino to hunt. Her plan was to kill as many people as she could stack in the room before the cops came in through the door and started shooting up the place. She found her next victim, a guy named Ethan, slipped him a napkin with a room number and a time, and after getting a smirk from him, went to the bathroom to celebrate with a line of coke. That's when she saw the ghost of her dead girlfriend. She really thought Dahlia came back to hunt her for cheating on her with the woman. But when they locked eyes, she realized Dahlia didn't even know who herself was, let alone recognize Lauren. She was a girl lost and didn't know what she wanted, and we all know by now that that's Lauren's weakness. Dahlia didn't understand her needs, and Lauren was going to be the one showing her. All Lauren wanted since the first time she and Dahlia started talking was to shape Dahlia to be more like her. What better way to do that than to become her mom? She even got to name her. It takes Dahlia a while to come back to her senses and become aware of her existence not as Chelsea but as Dahlia. This pushes her off the edge, but before she can really lose herself, Ethan comes knocking on the door. Lauren keeps up the act and even further excites him by telling him her daughter is in the bathroom taking a bath and she's turning 18 today. He thinks he's getting a mother-daughter combo meal. When Ethan enters the bathroom, it takes everything in Dahlia to keep her composure. She listens to her mommy and goes along with the plan. There is the usual foreplay, then Ethan discovers Dahlia is transgender and spews out a bunch of demeaning words, even though he's not disgusted by her, but he has to pretend like he is, because otherwise it would mean he's gay. At one point, Lauren starts to write him and tells Dahlia she wants her baby while doing it. Then some stabbing happens, they kill Ethan, Lauren ends up losing her temper per usual. Why do you have to be such a bitch? I just want to have fun. I just want to be happy and love you and have a good time, and I want to have a family with you, but you just can't be fun. You just can't be anything more than a fucking child. Now this part is really interesting because Dahlia tells her she doesn't want her anymore, that she doesn't need her and never has. They're basically breaking up. Dahlia even confesses she didn't actually kill her mom. She started a small fire in her closet, but it's unlikely it harmed anyone. She only told Lauren that so she would like her, but she realized quickly she doesn't like Lauren. They go back and forth between, "I don't want you, Lauren, you can't possibly know what you want, Dahlia," but before they can truly part their ways, Dahlia passes out. Don't forget, she's still losing blood. So now Lauren is alone to contemplate everything. She could kill other people, she could kill Dahlia, or she could finally kill the person she's been meaning to since the beginning, Lauren. I made her pain my pleasure because it was easier than being me. Ever since I saw her, I knew I had to drag her into my problems. She didn't deserve it. But does anyone? Does anyone ever deserve to get handed someone's whole life's problems? No one deserves it, but we do it all the time with the people that we love. It's an integral part of love. I do think that somewhere deep down, Lauren has genuine love for Dahlia. Yeah, it's not in the conventional way, it's not healthy, and this doesn't redeem Lauren of anything, but I still believe she does have it. I also think that's why the entire book she tried to make Dahlia become like herself, because she felt like if Dahlia was more like her, then she wouldn't hate herself as much. Because if she's capable of loving someone like her, then maybe that means she's also capable of loving herself. She actually does what we all do when we love someone, just to the extreme. Like she said, we introduce parts of ourselves to each other in the hopes that they will accept the good and the bad. We look for validation when we make each other listen to our favorite band so that we know we have taste. We look for comfort in each other's arms when we tell our past. Every time we learn something new about a person we love, we become more like them. We love something together and we become more like them. We carry life's burden together and the weight of it leaves the same imprint on our shoulders and we become more like them. This teaches us that we are worthy of love. But she failed to change Dahlia. So how could Lauren see anything of worthy in herself if the only person she loves in the whole entire world deems her unworthy of it? Lauren kills herself after this because she knows that as long as she's alive, she will only hurt Dahlia. She releases her, and Dahlia walks out of her life with the courage she and Lauren built in her together. To me, Fluids is a story of one woman coming to terms with her disdain for herself, while the other understands her own value through that disdain. Maybe the only good thing Lauren has ever done was show Dahlia, who thought being anything else was better than being herself, that being Dahlia is actually the best thing she could be. Dahlia embraced her own being enough to survive unimaginable pain so she could come back from the dead and look into her own eyes to see the love she has for herself. Yes, the title is foreshadowing to all the vomit, blood, and piss you're gonna read about for a few hours, but I like to think it's also a nod to one's own self. No matter how hard you try to change the direction of the stream, the water will still flow the way it's meant to. And no matter how hard you try to change who you are, I hope one day you all find the strength to flow the way you're meant to. Lauren also cuts her own arm before killing herself. If anyone knows anything about the arms,